My stock of the day, I thought we'd do JB Hi-Fi, as Mark was saying, released its preliminary half-year results with the company unscathed by consumers pulling in their purse strings. Total sales up 8.6% to more than $5 billion, which JB Hi-Fi puts down to strong demand for consumer electronics and home appliances, as well as successful promotional periods for Black Friday and Boxing Day. Company's chief executive says trading has started to normalise following 2 years of COVID disruptions. Big December in terms of retail sales. JB Hi-Fi, the beneficiary of it. Mark, what do you think? Share price up 3% today.
Yep.
Is this as good as it gets for JB Hi-Fi?
I wouldn't say so, because JB Hi-Fi for me has, for the last decade, just continuously grows and does better than I think it can do.
Right.
So I look at it from the point of view of saying, well, what have management delivered and what do they do? Forgetting us trying to say, oh no, we're going to a recession, or now that the stimulus is not there, people aren't going to spend and we're going to have a consumer recession. There's all this talk, and it's easy to buy because it sounds logical. And then what happens? They come out with record profits. Super Retail Group came out with a big lift yesterday. This is totally contrary to what the market was expecting.
Yeah, Baby Bunting on the other side, down low.
Management again. So we're talking the JB Hi-Fi have got to be one of the best retail management teams in the world.
Right.
They've got one of the lowest costs cost per sales square foot or something. I forget what the measure is, but effectively it's a retail comparison, and they're extremely good operators. So
revenue per square metre, I think, is
the
highest of any retailer in the world,
which is great.
Yeah.
So to me, I would just reconfirm that I think JB Hi-Fi is a buy, and the reason is it's still on a low PE, even going up 3% today. It's still on. It's probably sub 9 now because earnings have just gone up 14%.
Yep.
So on that, what would that be, Rudi? Can you quickly work that out? 14% up on 9.8? 8. So PE is down to 8. So don't worry about the fact that the price has gone up a bit. The PE is lower now at 8, and we're showing it returning about 16% a year on a margin of safety and over 30% on default for the next 5 years. Okay. That assumes they continue doing what they're doing, and I don't think you should bet against it.
Rudi?
No, I have to come up with something that he hasn't said yet.
Do you agree?
Well, in large lines, yes, I would. In the 1990s, they called the Japanese bond market the widowmaker, because all those traders kept on going short, and they lost their pants constantly. In Australia, I can easily nominate JB Hi-Fi, because one of the things we do, we pay attention to the shorts data in Australia when traders go short. And almost every single reporting season, February or August, amongst the highest short positions are always in JB Hi-Fi.
Right.
And almost every reporting season, those shorts are burned.
Right.
And to me, one of the funny things I always find is like, who are these guys? And how resilient are they for trying it again 6 months later and then again being burned?
Or a new bunch of suckers.
Having said so, I'm currently shareholder in Super Retail, so I did better yesterday than the shareholders in JB Hi-Fi today.
Right.
I think they're both very good retailers, but I think there's also a message in the fact that at one point 9% gain was there for Super Retail yesterday, and there's only a 3% today at the peak for JB Hi-Fi. I think there's a difference in valuation there as well.
Right.
And Super Retail offers a higher yield.
But they're coming off big Decembers when everyone was spending huge amounts of money.
That's true.
You can see it in the credit card outstanding debts that have gone up. Commonwealth Bank puts out, everyone spent massive personal loans up.
That's true.
As well.
I have a suspicion, and I've had this suspicion throughout last year as well. I have the suspicion that the impacts that we are feeling now, they are coming through much slower than we forecast them.
Right.
And I think it may well be that in 7 or 8 months' time we are talking a different environment when all those mortgages have reset and housing is definitely bottoming, hopefully by then, at a lower price.
Yeah.
But I think this is just such a slow process, and the market sometimes is very quick in pricing in worst case scenarios.
Yes.
And then things like, well, we have been a little bit quick, haven't we? And then the whole thing has to rise again. And that's basically what we're now seeing with the retailers. We come from a very big December for most retailers, because we've already seen Baby Bunting, and there will be others that disappoint.
Yeah.
But then we won't know yet what situation will be by August.
Okay.
Right? And we have this big reset starting from March, but rolling on very strongly from May onwards, where
Yes.
the mortgages reset, and that might be a bigger charge.
Mind you, all those people have been paying less repayments than everybody else for a long period of time.
true.
So I think
It's
to
true.
myself, oh, everyone's going, oh, the mortgage cliff coming for
Yeah.
these borrowers. You go,
Yes.
well, they had it really good for a year.
Yeah.
They should have been sticking
Yes, yes.
a bit away.
Well, a lot
It's not
were.
going to
A
be a
lot were.
surprise.
A lot probably have.
So we
Yeah.
don't know how much of a buffer that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing viewers should be wary of, though, is we're talking about one of the very best retailers.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so and what in this environment, the very best retailers are doing well.
Yep.
Like they seem to do in all environments.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
even if their earnings come off a bit going
Yeah,
forward, the PE is very low, which
Yeah.
means these are really worthwhile investments.
Okay, so yes for JB Hi-Fi at these levels?
With short-term, with a long-term view, because the share price
Okay.
probably doesn't
Yes,
that
for
have.
long-term.
I think short-term it doesn't have that much upside. I think
Right.
the share price is not as cheap as Mark makes it out.
Super Retail v JB Hi-Fi.
Oh, well, I mean, you're asking someone who owns Super Retail.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I
And
don't
even
JB
up the big book. You do too,
I,
don't you?
no, I don't have Super Retail,
Right.
I just have JB Hi-Fi.
Right.
so there you go, Super Retail and JB Hi-Fi.
Okay.